X-Men the animated series is having a sequel series, X-Men 97, and I decided for next year I want to not only talk about all the X-Men movies, the Wolverine movies, the Deadpool movies, the Fantastic Four movies, and the Daredevil movie and the Electric movie in time for Deadpool 3. But I also decided I want to talk about all the X-Men animated series seasons and lead up to the new sequel series, which cannot wait for. But I thought, why not do it when we got Deadpool 3 and that on the way? It feels like a good time to dive into the X-Men. And after seeing the Marvels and that post credit scene, I've been on an X-Men kick. So let's get into this review. First of all, X-Men the animated series is just awesome. It's the Batman the animated series of Marvel cartoons. Basically, it's not as good as that, but it's pretty up there. The theme song, of course, is iconic. There's a reason that in Miss Marvel, when you have that reveal that she's a mutant at the end of that show, you hear the theme. They're clearly trying to tell you, hey, this is cool. There's a reason that all these X-Men references in the Marvel movies have called back to the show. It is the perfect embodiment of what X-Men should be. The show almost feels exactly like popping out a comic book and watching the show. Or not, sorry, popping out a comic book or reading it and it just coming to life. This is just great. The animation in the show and the character designs are really strong. Like, they're just great. they look exactly like the art in the comic books at the time. It's just great. The only design that really bugs me is Storms. She's like fighting in heels. It's really weird. Like, they'll be like running, and I'm like, bro, bitch, you're wearing heels. Really weird. But um, the actual writing in this episode, or not in this episode, in the show, is just strong. The main each X-Men season kind of has an overarching threat. In this season, it's a threat of the Sentinels and kind of that stuff. And I really like how well they actually lay on the themes of like racism and discrimination with the X-Men, because that's always been a thing. They've always been a metaphor for that. You have the Cure storyline. You have all that stuff in here. You have just a lot of that great stuff. But yeah, I think the best episodes in the season were the earlier episodes, because you got the great introduction with Jubilee, which is now an iconic introduction that the X-Men movie kind of screwed up on. But if it's a great introduction just to kind of jump you right into the X-Men. You got the introduction to Sabretooth and Wolverine's rivalry, which is one of the greatest rivalries in all of comic books. Just a lot of stuff like that. It just really works. The introduction to Magneto. And I also love the subplot in this season where Beast decides to stay at this facility to improve race relations. That's something totally Beast would do, and it's a really interesting. Like, there's a lot of kid moments in the show where characters make really strong decisions that you wouldn't really expect from a kid show, but they do it, and it really works. And this is another example of that. What a great episode! And this whole show is just great, and I can't wait to talk about more seasons with you guys.